Have you ever wondered why you need shots or why you get sick? I'm going to talk to my daddy about that. Hi, this is Maya the Science Kid. You probably heard my bedtime stories podcast. I have a new podcast. It's questions that come out of my mind when we're going to school and back. And my daddy tells me what I want to know about the questions. It's called To School and Back with Maya. Some of the questions are like, why you get itchy, maybe why do you feel cold, why do you feel hot? If you like it, please let your friends know so they can listen too. And visit my website at mythesciencekid.com, where there are lots of science videos and book reviews too. Daddy?
Yes, Majin.
Why do you get sick?
Well, you get sick because viruses or bacteria go into your body and then they act in a different way than they make your cells, you know how your body has cells?
Yeah.
And your organs, which is a collection of cells,
Yeah.
they make them behave in a different way than they're supposed to, and we call that sickness. So the viruses go inside, and then the reaction to the viruses being in your body is that your body does things differently. So sometimes those reactions are some things we want, something like, well, let's just say that it's when your body does things the way it's not supposed to because some external thing, external means outside of your body before, like exit, external. Some things that are outside your body, when they go in your body, make your body do things differently. We call that sickness. So that's how you get sick. What was your other question?
Well, why do you need shots to stop you from getting sick? Like, is there any special material in shots?
Yeah, so it's how we talked about the viruses and bacteria. Okay. Now, you can take some medicine called antibiotics that if bacteria had gone in your body, the antibiotics kill that bacteria. But if the virus has gone in your body, we don't have medicine to kill the virus. But fortunately, your body has a fighting mechanism, mechanism means a way. Your body has a way to fight the viruses itself. It's with the white blood cells. You have blood cells that is red, we call red blood cells and white blood cells. I'll explain that to you later. But in your body, you have a way to fight off the viruses, but
Which is with your white blood cells.
Yeah.
They can just roam around and then it eats all the...
Yeah, but that only happens if your white blood cells have seen or have known about this virus. It's like intruder alert. There's hey, this person, this virus or this thing doesn't belong in the body. Let's go fight it. If they know about that thing, then they go fight it. But if they don't know about that thing, then they can't really fight it. So a shot is a little bit of that thing, that sickness, okay? The viruses of that sickness. Not enough to get your body sick, but enough for your body to know about that thing. So then next time, if the real sickness comes, your body's like, haha, I know this one, I can go fight it. So for some diseases or sicknesses, that's the same thing, or illnesses, those are all synonyms. Fortunately, some scientists have found shots or vaccines for them, and that is a way of giving a little bit of that to your body, so your body can be familiar with it, get to know it. And then once it knows it, and if the real disease comes, then your body can fight it off. Now, how does a real disease come? Do you know that?
No?
Well, you remember how we were watching the Jane Goodall,
Symphony?
the Jane Goodall Symphony?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Jane Goodall Symphony, you remember at one point, all the chimpanzees got sick?
At what point?
At some point. Like she was talking about it, and it said all the chimpanzees, they used to go and hug the chimpanzees and play with them, and then at one point they all got really sick and they started dying. And then they said from that point on, no more hugging the chimpanzees.
Yeah.
You remember that part?
Yeah. And then they said we should give the chimpanzees a vaccine.
Yeah. That was because there was in the human bodies there were some viruses that the human body knew how to deal with because the humans had gotten the vaccines. But then the chimpanzees, who are very similar to humans, the body is very similar to humans.
They don't have doctors.
They don't have doctors, and they hadn't gotten those vaccines. So the human body's white blood cells knew how to deal with those diseases. But the chimpanzees didn't. So if a human goes near the chimpanzee and then touches the chimpanzee and hugs the chimpanzee, maybe that virus that is okay in the human body, because the human body knows how to deal with it, maybe that virus can go into, from the touching, from skin to skin, or from like sneezing one human on like a chimpanzee. Okay? It can go into the chimpanzee's body. Now, the chimpanzee's body is not used to it and then gets sick. If the chimpanzees had gotten a vaccine before, then the body would be used to that thing and would know about it. So the way we get sick from some of these other diseases, or the ones that we have vaccines for, is if you don't have the vaccine, so your body doesn't know about it, and the vaccine and the disease is around maybe from other humans or from other mammals or other animals. A lot of these diseases come from other animals that humans used to live with, like farm animals or wild animals, if people interacted with the wild animal. Or from like mosquitoes that go bite a farm animal that has a disease, and then the mosquito comes and bites you. So then that disease goes into the mosquito, and then from the mosquito comes into the human when the mosquito bites a human. So all these is way that the disease goes from one thing to another thing.
Or maybe like you touch the driving wheel, and then maybe somebody else comes and wants to drive your car.
Yeah.
And then they drive your car, but you touched it, and maybe you were sick that day.
Yeah. Now, some diseases from contact, just like contact, hand-to-hand contact, they go. But some diseases are harder for them to get transferred. And you would need, like, if you cut your hand and another person cuts their hand and you touch the cuts together, so there's a little bit of blood going from one body to another body, then that gets transferred from one body to another body.
That's a sickness.
Yeah, but some sicknesses are very easy to transfer. Transfer means go from one place to another. So some diseases they're called airborne. Airborne means they can go from air. I'm talking to you, and then the disease just from my mouth, just from the breath, goes into the air, and then you breathe the same air, and then that's enough for you to get sick.
Yeah.
That's airborne. And then some things are not airborne. Some things you need to at least touch it with your hands. Some things you definitely have to. That's why we always wash our hands.
Yeah.
Because if there is something that was a disease that was like a door handle or something we touched, then you wash it away with soap and it goes away. And then some things when you're in a hospital, and the hospital is usually where people that are sick go.
Gloves.
So in the hospital you wear gloves and you also wear a mask because there's so many people that go in the hospital that are sick that maybe there's some airborne diseases in the hospital air. So the doctors and nurses wear a mask so they can make sure that they don't get any airborne diseases. But they always wear gloves anyway, so they don't touch something. And
Directly.
and then they also wash their hands a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But shots is back to your original question. Shots or vaccines, as they're called, are a way for us to not get sick. But the way they work is by introducing a little bit of that disease to your body, to your white blood cells. So your white blood cells know when they see it.
I'm like, oh, hey there. You shouldn't be in. Oh, hey there. What's your name?
Mm-hmm. And they would say,
Vaccine.
no, the vaccine is how we get, the vaccine is the shot. It's just that's the name of the
Yeah.
way. So
Sure.
like you be the white blood cell and I'll be the disease, okay?
Okay. Oh, hey there. What you doing?
Hi, come play with me. I'm a someone that's good to play with.
Are you sure?
Sure, of course I'm sure. I am not dangerous at all.
Are you super sure?
Yes, my name is Polio. And I like children. I really like children. I like to play with children.
Oh, goodness. Don't come near me.
That's because you've seen polio, huh? You say, I know about you because I have seen.
I have seen.
Well, if I'm the vaccine, you say, oh, well, come. It's okay. I'll come and I learn about you. That's the vaccine. You're learning about vaccine. There's not enough of the polio in your body right now. But so now I'll be the real polio, okay? So now that you've known polio.
Uh-huh.
Knock, knock.
Who is it?
It's polio and a whole bunch of us.
Oh, no. Don't come near me.
Well, how do you know about me?
Because I've saw you before.
Ah, that's how vaccines work. But if you didn't know, then when polio comes, then you're like, oh yes, come on in. You look delicious to the cells. I'm sure they'll be okay with you. And then the polio comes in and it gets you all sick. Polio is one of those diseases that we have vaccines for. And it is that sickness that the chimpanzees got.
Oh, yeah.
It basically makes your muscles not work anymore. So over time when you have polio,
For chimpanzees
or for humans also, and then what happens is when you get polio, then you won't be able to walk, and then you won't be able to move your arms, and then eventually you won't be able to move your mouth, and then you die.
Yeah.
So it's not a good disease. It's pretty dangerous, and used to be a lot of it, and then scientists really worked hard to find a way to make a vaccine out of polio, out of the other polio that people had, and then they finally figured out how to do it, and then everyone, like 50 years ago, went and got shots of polio shots, and then polio is we don't really see polio around anymore because pretty much everyone has gotten a polio vaccine.
Have I?
But yeah, you've gotten all your vaccines. So the next time you get vaccines is when you're 11. Up to now, you've gotten a bunch of vaccines. We give vaccines to kids when they're young, up to like 3 years old. They get most of the vaccines like to up to when you're 3-4 years old, and then you get some vaccines when you get a little bit older. But in general, we want the kids to be, well, all humans to be protected from disease from as early as possible. That's why we give the vaccines to the when the humans are kids. So as soon as we can give them vaccines, we give them vaccines or shots, and then they're protected.
Yeah.
So their body knows about all these diseases.
Oh. Do you know any other sickness?
Yeah, like, well, we don't have a vaccine for chicken pox, I don't think. But there's a similar thing that's called smallpox. That used to be a sickness that your body would just break out into like a very bad rash. And then so that was like 50 years ago or so when they made the vaccine for that also. And then everyone got vaccines for smallpox also.
Did I?
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of there's like 10-15 diseases that we have vaccines for that people get. There's other diseases that we have vaccines, but you don't usually get vaccines for every disease because you may not be near that disease.
Every disease.
Yeah, you may not be near that disease anyway. But if you're going to like Africa or a different place where that disease might be there, then you might have to get a vaccine for it.
Before you
go, yeah. Okay, we're at your school already, so
Bye.
have a good day. Bye-bye.